A lawyer for the man accused of killing Grace Millane has told a jury while they might find his actions after her death reprehensible, there's no evidence the backpacker died as the result of a violent struggle or assault. The trial of the 27-year-old man, whose name is suppressed, is into its third week in the High Court in Auckland. The defence has opened its case and begun calling evidence, but the accused will not be among those in the witness box. Our reporter Sarah Robson is covering the case, and just a reminder here, her story includes details that may be upsetting.
The man accused of murdering Grace Millane told the police he woke up and found the British backpacker dead on the floor of his apartment. They had met on a Tinder date and had gone back to his place at the City Life Hotel. He admitted he put her body in a suitcase and buried it in the Waitakere Ranges, but he denies murdering her. The man's defence team began presenting its evidence today. In his opening remarks, lawyer Ron Mansfield said there was no evidence Ms Millane died as a result of a violent struggle or assault.
Why, you might already be asking yourselves, would this otherwise happy couple who were clearly enjoying each other's company that night and intended on having a casual sexual relationship when they got back to the City Life, end up in a situation where there was anger or hatred or violence to the point where he was prepared to assault her, let alone kill her?
The accused told police that he and Ms Millane had consensual rough sex, which involved some choking. Earlier in the trial, a forensic pathologist called to give evidence for the Crown confirmed Ms Millane's death was caused by pressure to the neck. Ron Mansfield told the jury that while accidental deaths in this sort of consensual sexual context were rare, they were possible.
If this couple engaged in consensual sexual activity, which included pressure being applied to her neck with her knowledge and consent, and that went wrong, and no one intended for it to go wrong, that's not murder.
Ron Mansfield said the jury may find the accused's actions after Ms Millane's death reprehensible, but he said they don't tell them anything about what happened in the room where she died.
Other than tell you that he was involved, panicked out of fear of the consequences and a fear that no one was going to believe him. It doesn't tell you anything about what this couple were doing.
Ron Mansfield said the jury would hear evidence about Ms Millane's sexual interests and preferences.
That no one is trying to shame Ms Millane or her family, and no one is trying to blame Ms Millane or her family, and I'm certainly not suggesting that she's not normal.
The jury heard evidence from one of Ms Millane's friends, who has name suppression, who said they would talk about girly things, including sex and what they liked and didn't like. The woman's statement to the police was read to the court by defence lawyer Claire Farquhar.
Grace told me that she enjoyed her partner to put his hands around her neck. I can't really remember the exact words used, but it was something like that, said in a jokey way as we talked about sex with our partners.
A statement given to police by one of Ms Millane's former sexual partners, who can't be named, was also read to the court. He said Ms Millane had talked to him about choking during sex.
Grace and I discussed keeping hands wide and on the side of her neck, never on the front. Grace and I would have a safe word most of the time, which we had discussed, something like turtle or something else ridiculous. Grace and I used a tapping practice too. If Grace tapped me 3 times, then it would stop.
The former sexual partner said they always talked about it if they wanted to do something different, and things never went too far. This afternoon, the jury heard evidence from Florida-based pathologist Fintan Garravin. He disputed the findings of the pathologist called to give evidence for the Crown about the bruise found on Ms Millane's neck. Dr Garravin said the bruising was more likely the result of consensual activity because he didn't find any other injuries he would expect to see if a violent struggle had taken place. The trial is now in its 3rd week, having been set down for a month. Mō te hōtaka o te ahi, ko Sarah Robson, aho.